come on, you Gunners, and come on, you Foresters. I guess I don't know what Nottingham Forest fans are called, but we are top of the league yet again. Very short
Back
period
again.
off of there, yes. So without wasting any more time, let's talk about Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 4. Wow. I know you want to talk about Emi Martinez's time wasting, so let's start right there, right? Like
Right.
it was so pleasing to see that own goal in the end.
Exactly. It's catharsis. It's catharsis. Like, if you start time wasting in the 35th minute, I mean, seriously, you have a whole lot of football to play. There's a lot of the game left. You have an entire half left, and you start time wasting in the 35th minute. Sorry, but you've got to go in the bin. You might have won the World Cup. You might have the biggest whatever in the world right now. But this is the Premier League, and the Premier League is ruthless. And if today's example is to go by, I hope Martin has learned his lesson.
I still have an issue with the fact that it took the referee till after the 80th minute to even begin to give cards for time wasting, and he only got the one card. Like Villa as a team just got the one card. And by the way, did you hear that? Apparently, I read this on Twitter somewhere. Apparently, Emery never approved for Martinez
Yeah,
to go up for the for the last goal. So
that's
double
just his
whammy there.
ego. His ego taking over about conceding an own goal and trying to become the point salvaging hero that he thinks he is. But
But
okay.
so fabulous win. But we still have to talk about the issues. Like still very clear issues, right? Two goals, horrible defending for both goals, and we had to rely on some absolute quality for all three of our goals, which is it's not sustainable. We can't expect Saka, Zinchenko, Jorginho to have like extreme screamers every game, right? We need to be creating more clear-cut chances and more importantly, like taking those chances. Like I still don't see a solution on how we are breaking down these defenses through the middle.
It's if you notice today, I realized Odegaard. It has to be Odegaard through which the ball has to go. It can't really be just Zinchenko, just Martinelli, or just Saka. It has to go through Odegaard. He's the guy who makes the team tick. He has to be at the focal point, and you have to rotate the ball through Odegaard because he drags two players away. He creates spaces for others to run into, and he has this way of holding on to the ball even if he's being chased down by three others. So that's his strongest point. And I still have one criticism of Odegaard. He's still drifting far too right. There were moments in the game where Odegaard and Saka were like one arm distance from
Like
each other.
standing next to
And
each other.
and when you have the ball at a space that's high up, you can't leave the gap in the center to be so wide because Xhaka can't really be doing the entire box by himself. And you can't expect Jorginho or a Partey to make the third man run because that opens you up for the counter since your wing backs are also high up on the pitch while attacking. So we've got to figure out more ways to keep Odegaard a little bit more central. If it drifts out wide, does someone else come in to take care of the
And
spaces that he leaves out?
And I feel like that's where like Jesus would come in, like because that's what Jesus will do is he will drop back and fill in those gaps when he's playing. Whereas Nketiah was actually drifting either farther wide or just trying to kind of make those poaching runs right at the far post,
Right.
which kind of didn't work. And my other criticism for Odegaard is like he still needs to like just know when to pull the trigger versus when not. Like there was this one point in a crowded box where he should have just hit it one time, but he ended up taking a touch and then missing the chance. Versus for that Nketiah win, where he got the ball in the box, he really should have taken a touch there because he had
Yeah.
all the time in the world. Instead, he tried
True.
to go one time and then missed the goal completely.
Yeah. That was an open goal, and that could have been so horrible for us. But luckily enough, luckily enough,
I know. I mean, I have to take my words back. I was screaming against Jorginho. We talked about this as well for both the goals. I was like, no, Party makes that run back. He drops back. He saves those two goals. He becomes that extra man to save those shots and opportunities. And I was very heavy on the fact that Jorginho wasn't contributing anything, but he really came into himself. I think it helped
it
that Xhaka came off because it kind of left Jorginho to be the only one deeper in the midfield to actually run the play, and he actually made some really good passes. It created a whole bunch of chances towards like the last 20 minutes of the game. So loud apologies for you, Jorginho. Fabulous game, fabulous performance there.
This is something that I discussed with someone at the game that I was watching. They mentioned that Jorginho knows his disadvantages. He's shorter, he has to cover up more ground to make a better pass or to know his position. So he's smart positionally. He knows he's not at the top of his speed game. So he has to compensate with holding positions and playing out the shorter passes, releasing the ball faster, not holding on to it too long. And I think that's what worked today for him, where he was smart enough to hold the right positions and then ask for the ball. The Martinelli ball comes into Jorginho because Jorginho is screaming. You can see his arms flailing up
Mhm.
till the ball comes in, and then he takes that screamer, which could or could not have gone in. But thanks, Emi. Thanks again.
And yeah, and again, that's kind of coming back to just how our tactics are just not. And that was my other issue with Arteta, because at halftime it was very obvious that this team was just not working. The fact that we ended up winning the match 4-2 still doesn't, it shouldn't cover over the fact that Arteta made changes late in the game, that we had to rely on a lot of class versus, just being good on the ball and creating our own real chances. I felt like the whole Trossard and Zinchenko on the same side just did not work. Both of them love to drift in, and they were just getting in the way for each other. I think it was a lot better
Correct.
when Martinelli came on and it was Zinchenko. So I feel like it's either Trossard and Tierney or Martinelli and Zinchenko, the kind of pairing that works. Saka clearly our best player in the game, but wasn't even involved till I think his first goal, like till he equalized. He wasn't even involved in the game. So it's stuff like that that I feel like Arteta still needs to work on. He needs to make changes early on in the game instead of kind of waiting and being more ponderous almost about, like, again, like we got lucky with, and again, it's a quality shot, but relying on a shot from outside the box to land right in the bottom corner is, that should not be our
Yeah,
strategy,
true,
especially when we're
true.
trailing.
And I also have to commend Leon Bailey for his performance. I think he was electric. Unlucky for that shot to not go in, especially. I mean, the momentum that you get or the positiveness that you get when you control a floating ball out of nowhere, and then you know you're just going to go for goal because you can see it and you're all charged up. He dribbles in, cuts in, takes that shot. I think Ramsdale should have done better in
Mhm.
not allowing that shot to even hit the crossbar,
Yeah.
but that's for a different day because the goal did not go in. Great attempt. And another chance I think he had, but Gabriel, for
Yeah.
all his worth, put in the tackle at the
Yep.
right time to get the ball out.
Yep. And I
Very
think,
smart play. Very smart play.
yeah, I mean, I mean, Saliba had a rough start to the game, rough first half. White wasn't really feeling up to it as well. But both of them came trumps in the second half. I don't know what Arteta said, but we need to be playing
They
that way
just
from
changed.
the get go. Yeah, like they just changed. They came out as new players. I mean, White in that second half, like when he got subbed off, I was like, no, keep him on. He was really making things happen at that point. Um, but yeah, incredible performance, incredible result. Not the kind of thriller we were talking about, but the 3 points is all that matters right now. In the end, still a relatively comfortable win, and 2 goals to the good, because goal difference might just play a factor.
We
Uh,
need everything. We
everything
need
we can get,
everything.
right? But yeah, back on top of the league, still have a game in hand, so opportunity to go 5 points clear, still riding with Arsenal. Just got to keep it strong, keep it going. As always, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you
We'll
guys
see
next
you
time.
next time.